This is gonna be awesome. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I have always loved Lego. These blocks and sets that they make are one of my absolute favorite toys. They offer limitless potential and you can just let your imagination run wild. You can have so much fun with these things, and when I was a kid, my favorite was always the castle Lego sets. I really feel like the block nature of Lego pairs up perfectly with the block nature of historical castles. Lego blocks, castle blocks, they just go together so well. And this gave me a great idea. Over the past couple years, I have been getting more and more into 3D printing. And not long ago on the internet, I saw a video from Matt Denton where he had made a Lego looking electric bicycle that you could actually ride around on. It was like a fully functional electric motorbike that looked like it was made of large Lego. My mind was blown when I saw that video. Why had I never seen anyone making giant Lego pieces with 3D printers before? I looked around to see what else there was out there, and there wasn't a lot. Not none. I'll talk about more of the other people I've seen who have done similar things, but there was a lot less than I had expected. But as much as I looked around, I couldn't find anyone who had tried to do what I wanted to do. So I knew I wanted to make bricks inspired by the Lego ones, but bigger. I just didn't know how much bigger. I had to decide what scale I wanted to go to. There's a lot of things you could use. You could just say, make one of these bricks the size of a normal standard human brick, or maybe you could scale it till one of these little minifigures was the same height as a full-size adult human. So what scale should I go with? Well, I decided that I wanted to be able to wear one of the Lego helmets. This was my first test helmet. I found a file online that was supposed to match the little bell shape of this guy's hat, and there were some problems. I went with this scale, which was 10 times the scale, because I thought that looked like about the size of an actual, Norman style helmet, but it's not even close to being able to fit. Well, there's a few reasons for that, partly because it also scales up the thickness of the plastic. You can also ignore the paint. Those were from unrelated tests for a different project. This was just sitting in my workshop and I wanted something to paint. Too small. Ow. So I had to go bigger. So, how much bigger?
A lot bigger.
I know, this thing makes me look like Dark Helmet from Spaceballs. It's just enormous, but the truth is, this actually fits my head correctly. Like, I have like a millimeter of play here. So this is the scale I'm going with. This is a 20-to-1 ratio, meaning that this helmet is 20 times taller, 20 times as deep, and 20 times as wide. I know it looks enormous, but the truth is the scale of Lego figures doesn't really match humans very well. And so if I want to wear the helmet, this is how big it has to be. So at that scale, this brick here will become this brick here. Boop. That means that our castle here will go from this size to this size. It's gonna be so big. Oh, this is gonna be absurd. We also have to take a look at how tall the set is and how tall it's going to be. The tops of these bricks is about 8 inches off the ground. All told, the tallest tower is going to be over 160 inches off the ground. That doesn't even include the height of the flags. Now, I have a few 3D printers at home, but this project seemed a little too big for what I had. Fortunately, Prusa was willing to send me 5 of their 3D printers. And they also sent me 5 more of their printers. It's 10. They sent me 10 printers. It's just hard to get them all in one shot. So I'm looking at printing over 650 Lego style bricks. Some of them are gonna be 1 by 1. Some of them are gonna be a little bit bigger. In fact, most of them are gonna be a little bit bigger. So figuring out how to make these bricks the size I'm gonna need is more complicated than I initially thought it was going to be. Looking online when I was just starting out, I found 3D models that looked like the bricks I wanted to use. And then as I played around with them, I realized that they had several different problems. The biggest of which is that they're not supposed to be big. When I would scale them up to the size that I was looking to do, I would run into problems. They would no longer fit together well, like they wouldn't clip together correctly. Sometimes they wouldn't fit together well. Sometimes the ratio between the top of a stud and the shape at the bottom would be off. And these are things that probably didn't matter if you printed them at normal scale. You'd still get the interaction you were looking for. When they're giant, you have to have about the same tolerance amount, but not the same tolerance percent, if that makes sense. This is one of the pieces I found pre-modeled online, but you can see how blocky and polygonal it looks. I really don't like that look. It also has some problems interacting. This shape should fit into this shape, but it doesn't very well. I decided that I was just gonna have to remodel every part from scratch if I really wanted them to be perfect. Side note, I ended up making an accidental rain stick with this because I was using a different printer and had the settings wrong for this silk PLA stuff. If I could learn to do this on purpose, that'd be pretty fun. So I had lots of problems to solve. I knew that I would have to print each main block individually and then put them together. First, my thought was glue. Then a rep from Prusa showed me that you can use these little dovetail methods to cut blocks in half in the slicer directly. And I liked that concept, but I thought I could improve on the execution a little bit. In the set that I'm trying to build, there are about 70 different pieces, and that's not counting any of the minifigure character pieces or decorative parts. That's a lot to have to model. Fortunately, I was able to come up with a system that makes it almost modular. So a lot of the pieces can be built out of the same foundation pieces. It's basically like I'm making Lego style bricks out of different style bricks that all piece together. So I had to model the system that lets me make something modular and expandable. I think I have a pretty good solution for it. For example, here I've got a brick that has the dovetail mesh just on one side. If I print two of these, they can slide together into a 2x1 brick. It would look something like that. But what if I have a 3x1 brick? Well, then I grab this piece that has the dovetailing on two sides and it just sandwiches right in between. There's a 3x1 brick. Now I did come up with this quad dovetail design that lets it lock together well, but like that, the pieces could go together and come apart. But Pooch from Prusa came up with this genius idea to use this locking mechanism. And when it's on both bricks, it creates locking in both directions. So once they go together, they don't really ever come apart again. The studs are all the same. They attach just by threading on, and I designed a really aggressive pitch double thread. So there's one on this side and one on this side. So it just takes like 1/2 turn to lock the thing all the way on. For better or for worse, they interface really well. So with just a few pieces, I have every shape of brick. I need end pieces, corner pieces, middle pieces. I am printing my very first sort of U-shaped pieces. If I was gonna have a 2x3, I would need a piece that went in the middle, interfaces on the end. That's pretty much everything you need to make every brick. The plates, the shorter pieces, are the same. They're literally just cut off from the bottom. It's the same design. Same dovetailing, same locking mechanism. Locked in place. Pretty cool. Look at that, a 4x1 brick. Blocks, and they're building. All right, now I'm sitting on a throne made up of the first shipment of the gray plastic that I'm gonna be printing all of the bricks for, like most of the castle. Gonna be printed out of this, and so it is time to start actually printing the bricks. The 2 kilogram roll of their Galaxy Gray PLA, they didn't even have this on 2 kilogram rolls until they started making it to send me. Now I'm pretty sure you can get it on the website. As always, a huge thank you shout out to all of our supporters on Patreon. We could not do these videos without you. If you're interested in joining the Patreon supporters, the link for that is in the description. Like I said before, I didn't come up with the idea of 3D printing Legos. People beat me to it in some very cool ways. So I already mentioned Matt Denton, who made the little scooter that drove around, and he's done a few other cool projects as well. You should check that out. Ivan Miranda has done some great stuff, both with vehicles and he's done some small scale construction equipment made to look like Lego pieces. Also very fun. You may also have seen Ruth Amos recently made a Lego style Christmas tree set for last Christmas, which turned out really cool. She worked with a friend of hers named Ellis Ware. They both have really great channels. that you should go check out as well. And I have actually talked already with all 4 of these other creators, getting some tips. They were very helpful about what worked for them, what didn't, and what I had to do to make sure my print files were going to work the way I really wanted them to. So why am I printing the bricks like this, upside down and without the studs attached? There's a couple main reasons. First of all, the bricks with the studs actually just happen to be the tiniest bit too tall for the printers that I'm using. It's close, but I'm about 1 centimeter above the height limit. However, even if these printers could go that extra height, I would still want to print like this. Without the studs and printed upside down, there's nothing that needs supports on these printers. If you're not familiar with 3D printing, it extrudes hot plastic down on the bed and then down on the layers that it put down first. But if you ever have something horizontal that doesn't have anything underneath it, say a brick printed in this formation, this portion here would just be hovering in the air when it tried to print it. So to get around that, what printers do is they will actually print plastic all the way from the bed up to the top where they need some support. That is an amazing function, and I'm so glad 3D printers can do that, but it does take more time. And since I have to print so many of these, I want to save time anywhere I can. Printed like this, 0 supports. The studs, they print upside down, also 0 supports. That makes it so much faster, and when it's this easy to put them together, I really don't mind. It's absolutely worth the save time. Now, all of these bricks, they don't just sit on the floor. They have to have a base, that green plate that the castle is built on. Enter the floor studs. Now, much like the bricks, I'm not going to be printing the floor in one piece. How could I? Such a printer, I don't believe exists, but I can use the same dovetailed modularity that lets me just make the floor whatever size and shape I need. I've got edge pieces, I got middle pieces, and I got a corner piece. Well, like 12 of them, because there's 3 plates. By my calculations, I'm going to need approximately 1,200 floor stud pieces. Whew, that's a lot. Now, just for step 1, I need to have at least 200 pieces. That's going to be the length and the width that I need to follow instructions. Step 1, let's print a lot of these. Obviously, this is a huge project that's going to be taking up a lot of my time for a long time. I would love your support. I've come up with a few different ways that you can do that. Some of them very directly relate to the Lego build itself. Up on the website, nftistuff.com, we've got some ways that you can support this project directly. Things like these floor tiles with customized studs. We've got a few different levels of these customized floor tiles. We've got our base here, your name, shared with some other people on a single stud. A little more exclusive, a stud all to yourself. You could do a line or two saying your name, company, whatever you think sounds best. Or we could even do a full logo. The whole stud is yours. You can do up to 4 colors. It's really the most customizable option. And these aren't just gonna like get printed and sit in a box. These are going to be printed and added to the set. These will be part of the actual floor. We also have an option for having your name printed onto a brick. This is gonna be part of the set. It's gonna be on the wall. So anytime we're filming, if that brick is on camera, so is your name. Now for every video, we're only gonna have a limited number of spots for each of these customized options. So if you want one, you should jump on it quick. My parts are printed for step 1. I think there's 43 steps, 44, adding all of the people onto it. There's 44 steps, and I have all the pieces for step 1. I haven't assembled them all, so they're just all on the floor. They need to be puzzle pieced together, have the little tops screwed onto it, but then I will put them onto the plates and be done with step 1. Now, this is going to be a long series, many parts, and I hope you're subscribed so you don't miss any of them. Don't worry though, it's not going to be so drawn out as one video per step. It's gonna be more like one video per month. It's still gonna go on for a long time. Now, I don't know exactly what the division of where each video is going to go will land, but I hope you're gonna follow along and see how this project grows, because it's going to grow into something truly massive. I'm so excited for it. Let's get these blocks put together and on the studs. Now there is going to be a ton of content produced in building something like this, and if you want to see as much of it as possible, you're going to have to follow me on Patreon. I am going to be posting a lot of videos about this, but I'm going to have probably even more stuff that I'm not going to post everywhere. Patreon is going to have a lot of exclusive stuff. It's going to have behind the scenes footage. It's going to have longer cuts about the videos. I'm going to be sharing some of my processes for printing the bricks. I'm going to be doing question and answer stuff, just a lot of things, including sharing some of the files that I'm using to print these out if you wanted to try printing some yourself. If you are interested in seeing how this goes with all the nitty-gritty, all the details, and with some options to talk to me about it, I recommend you join my Patreon, where all the coolest supporters in the entire world are already hanging out.